Okie dokie.
Hello, Lifeboat. Come watch the race of this. Good luck on comms. Thank you, buddy. Hello, Hartman. Hello, Max. Nice to have you back. What? Every time, man. I always get it fucking confused. I can't be bothered anymore. Stupid words. Stupid English language.
Yeah.
All words are made up anyway.
Exactly.
Who are you to say? Who are you to say that I'm not spelling it correctly?
Okie doke. I think we're all in, so I'm going to tell them to ready up.
Williams on the podium today. It's not a big worry, mate. Yeah. Williams on the podium would be good. This is Femi's last race before he takes himself a break from something. Everything is made up. Exactly. 8 people watching so far, 6 likes. So 2 of you, you know who you are. Get a like on their video, their stream while you are here.
We're all made up. It's all simulation.
Yeah. We're in the Matrix now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, why not a double podium, Hartman? Why not double Williams podium? Big points for the constructors. But anyway, good evening everyone, and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm Simo, your commentator this evening, and joining me as always is the 4-time sprint champion, Ghost. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, man. I'm looking forward to this. It's a shame we have such a high number of regular drivers not able to race today, especially Muhiti, who is sitting P2 in the championship as it stands. So, yeah, huge shame on that front, but it's going to be a good race, I reckon, even with a 12-car grid. We should have some good racing, and Spa always likes to throw in a bit of drama every now and then.
Yeah, it certainly does. Tier 2 takes to Spa, the circuit to Spa-Francorchamps for round 6 of the championship. This circuit sits within the Belgian Ardennes countryside, and it's a thrilling track with 20 corners, 11 to the right and 9 to the left. The circuit's 7.004 kilometre length makes it the longest circuit on the F1 calendar that sees its fair share of fantastic racing action. Expect to see the drivers on the limit as they take on the infamous Al Rouge and Radion section and the fast left of Pouhon. Any thoughts, Ghost?
Yeah, it's a very tricky one on race distance. I don't usually have too many problems with it in qualifying, but for race distance, it's very much a race of endurance. You've got to avoid all of the auto spin curves. You've got to always be careful of drivers trying to overtake, and yeah, your pace is never guaranteed. So it can be a very tricky one, and I'm interested to see how the Tier 2 drivers fare today.
Yeah, it'll be certainly interesting. We saw a fair bit of drama in Friday's Tier 1 race here. We had a few crashes, a couple of safety cars, so those could always come into the equation. It's only 22 laps of this circuit. Doesn't seem very long when you think about it, but it is quite long, as the circuit is about 1 minute 41:42 in terms of the lap time around here. Anyway, last week in Tier 2, they found themselves in Portugal, where Pommy Alex claimed his 2nd win of the season. LB finished 2nd after a poor qualifying, with JBS Steve finishing on the podium after a great drive in the race. LB leads Muhiti by 14 points in the championship, one that looks certain to swing in his direction. With Muhiti not here this evening, it will fall to Hartman or Pommy to challenge the Red Bull, as they sit just 19 points behind, both on 75 points apiece. But will they be able to take the lead with only a handful of races left? Who knows? Chances are looking slim. Red Bull lead the constructors by 26 points and look to have one hand on the title, with only one Ferrari in the session. Although AlphaTauri are 29 points back, so a good run of races may see them close back up. Any thoughts on the championship, guys?
Yeah, Pommy Alex is going to need a DNF from LB in order to get back in this championship. 19 points is just an outrageous gap with the APPF1 point system. So, I mean, Pommy Alex and Muhiti after this race will have both missed a race in this championship. So it's just unfortunate that people not able to make races are going to lose the championship as a result, or rather will lose a championship fight. But that's the way it goes, that's life. And LB has taken advantage so far with a string of good finishes, as I'm running on board with Lalo Mado, who's going to set the first lap of this session.
Well, here's something interesting for you, Ghost. LB informs me in the comments of the video of the stream thus far that he has never finished a race at this circuit with APPF1. So the championship could see itself swinging wildly if that is the case this evening, and LB does not finish this race. So fingers crossed as always, but it would definitely be interesting to have a championship fight on our hands.
Oh, I'm so sorry for laughing, but TTV Max, that's, man, oh, he's tried to go in the pit lane and hit the wall and crashed out.
Oh, Max.
Max, what have you done, mate?
Oh.
Oh, on his glorious return. It's been a while since we've seen him in Tier 2, and he's back, and immediately... Oh dear. You hate to see it, but Lalo Mado is going to set the first lap of this session. He's just coming up to bus stop now. Break at the 100, or just after the 100 from Lalo Mado. Clearly that's some ABS shenanigans going on there as he comes through around the final corner and sets a good starting pace, 44.2. Tier 1 pole position was, I believe, 43.5? Let me just check that. 42.5, okay, so still some pace to be unlocked in Tier 2, I reckon, but good start from Lalo Mado.
Yeah, tonight's action is brought to you once again by Positive Perception Media Design Products. If you love seeing cool livery designs, head over to their socials and catch a glimpse of some truly awesome designs. They do liveries and they also race in those liveries. So head over to their socials, head over to their YouTube, give them all the love and support as humanly possible. But anyway, we ride on board with QBV as he sets his first lap of the session. It's a 45.8 from the Alpine driver. Is that Krauser coming next? Yep. Is the 44.3. So not quite professional pole as JBS Steve goes into the 43s with a 43.774.
Here comes his teammate. He's going to be behind 44.4 from Jamie F1. Puts him in P4 for now, but it's very close between 2, 3 and 4, but JBS Steve with a big gap at the moment. Tier's about to come across the line, but he's invalidated on the mediums, so he's going to have to go again or head to the pits. That's the other thing with this track, it's so long that if you make a mistake on your qualifying lap or invalidate or something, it's such a long time to get back and get another lap in. So you really have to make every single lap count in a short 18-minute session.
Yeah, certainly. So riding along with ISL Hartman now, has had quite a decent season, although has seen himself in a few unlucky races, which have cost him some crucial points in the championship. Remember back to Jeddah, round 4, where he was on track for a race win, and then it all went wrong. Mostly due to lag in the session, which caused a number of incidents for the American driver. He's coming into this session still in contention for the championship, although it's going to take quite a mighty drive from him and also Pommy Alex, and quite some bad luck for LB, I think, for him to get that win.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a decent season, I think. He's been certainly a lot more up there with the pace than he was last season, Hartman. But yeah, the string of incidents in Jeddah has really cost him his shot at this championship. As I think Tier is going to be crossing the line soon, but not before. I think, is that Femi Thrustmaster? No, that's QB maybe. Someone headed into the pits. It was, oh, maybe it was Hartmann. He must have invalidated, but Tier comes across for 45.0 on mediums, which is not too bad a start at all from the British driver.
Here comes Hartmann through the bus stop sector right now. I think it was must have been QB who came across the line. A 44.9 for Hartmann. That's not a bad lap on the mediums. Goes faster than Tier, the only other driver to come out on the medium tyres thus far. As I say that, Pommy Alex is actually out on the mediums, so we'll wait to see what last week's race winner can do on that compounded tyre. Femi Fussmasters invalidated his lap. He will have to go again. Yusuf invalidates his lap as well. So that'll be another run around this long track for him. I believe LB's on an out lap now as well, so championship leader out on circuit finally in the number 1 Red Bull. That's car number 2, but it's the number 1 in terms of the 2 Red Bull cars that are there. It'd be Femi to cross the line first out of everybody out on track, setting a lap right now.
Pommy Alex just about to start his lap as well. Big snap of oversteer out of bus stop. But I'll ride on board with him for his first effort. No pressure, Pommy. Yes, he's got to set a good banker. He hasn't got much time left in the session, only 10 minutes left, which is going to drop off very rapidly on a track as long as Belgium. But I'm interested to see where he comes out in terms of pace on those medium tyres. He set a purple sector 1, so it's looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, I don't know why, but my clock is always wrong. Always. Every time it's just not correct, so I'll be relying on you to let us know when we're nearing the end of qualifying, guys, because mine is incorrect. Mine says 8 minutes 12 seconds left of qualifying.
Yeah, mine says about 8 minutes 40, I think.
Yeah. So mine's off by like 30 seconds or something.
Something like that,
But
yeah.
anyway, oh, we look what we found. Is that, who's that? Is that LB just taking it easy? Yeah, it is. I think he was just getting out of the way of the traffic behind him. But Femi coming through the final sector now, getting a little bit of a tow from his teammate as he comes through Blanchimont and down towards the bus stop chicane to set his first lap of the session. It's looking like a fairly competitive one from the Williams. We'll see him up in the top 10 perhaps. Yes, P7 for Femi in the Williams, faster than QB, and 2/10 off the Tier, his next closest rival. But here's Pommy then, through the bus stop chicane now, medium tyres on the Scarlet Red Ferrari. Oh, and it's a big snap of oversteer as he comes out of the final corner, and it's 1:44.6. So that was looking like it would have been probably a higher for 1 minute 44 than that, which would have maybe seen him up in P3.
Yeah, that was a very good opener from Pommy Alex. I don't know if he's going to start on the mediums. There's still time left in the session for him to go back into the pits and go again, but not much.
Big crash from LB.
Oh no!
At Laycom. He's still got the car running, I think. No, he's out.
He's out of the session. He will start from the back with TTV Max. And that's certainly some history there between those two. There he is in the wall. Lalo Mado just went past. So obviously tried to take too much curb at Lecom and ended up straight into the wall. So not a good qualifying at all for the championship leader. He'll be hoping he can gain some time back in the race.
I think it was commentator's curse that got the better of LB there. I switched on board with him, and that was the moment he crashed into the wall. Tier 2 commentator's curse strikes again. The other Red Bull is out on a lap right now. I'm trying to see who will be the next across the line on those or a fast lap. Is it Femi? No, Femi is invalidated his. It'll be Lalo then. He'll be the next across the line on a faster lap. Lalo's invalidated, so he'll be going around again. So it looks like, is it
Crozer is on a lap at the moment. He's just about to come to the end of sector 2. He's 6/10 up, Crozer. This could be pole position for Crozer.
This could be very close. It's looking like it might be thus far. He's got to find that time through sector 3 here and see what he can do. And coming up to the bus stop chicane now, it's very tricky, very easy to make his mistake. We saw Pommy Alex get that snap, that tank slapper on the exit. It's so hard to get the traction just right through here, but Kraus has managed to do it. down towards the line now. It's a 43.8, just a tenth off of JB and Steve. And it looks like APPF1 are setting themselves up for a decent Grand Prix this evening.
Certainly is, but Crozer is going to do everything he can
Six
in that
tenths
Red
up,
Bull.
Jamie F1. He's looking like he could be provisional pole, could be an APPF1 1-2 provisionally as he comes through. Little snap from the rear end, but it's looking like a decent lap. It's P3 that cost him so much. Look how close it is. It's about 0.05 of a second.
10th between the three of them, and Crozer right smack bang in the middle, 0.05 behind JBS Steve, and Jamie is 0.05 behind Crozer, so very close lap times coming in here. Lalo Maddo is trying to keep the car on the track through P1. Can be tricky sometimes. It looks like Pommy Alex is staying in the pit, so he's happy to start on mediums, it seems, from P5. Lalo Maddo is going to have to push like crazy to beat his soft lap on the mediums, because I'm pretty sure that first lap was on the softs for the Alfa Romeo. Tier is just coming through the end of Sector 2 now. What's it going to be? He's 0.8 up, is Tier, so this could challenge for the second row for the Mercedes.
Yeah, Lalo Maddo's invalidated. JBS Steve was on a slight improvement of his lap, but he came into the pits, so he backed off, and is likely going to set another lap toward the end of the session. But here comes Tier in the Mercedes. This could be a decent lap time from the British driver, rounding the final corner now. No snaps of from the rear at the end, although we've got an Alpine spinning around. It's a 43.8 up into P4. It's very close between the top four right now. All within about a tenth of one another, or just over that.
Absolutely. Yusuf is coming through. He's just had a little bit of a understeer through No Name corner there, and he comes through P1 now. Pretty committed through there from the McLaren. The only McLaren on track today. As I said, quite a few regulars missing today, unfortunately. But Yusuf looking to have a good outing for the Papaya team. His teammate Mr. J-Man had by far his best race of the season last week, so Yusuf looking to follow that up as he comes through Sector 3 now.
Yeah, certainly Yusuf and validated a lot of his laps. It's looking like this might be the one that finally puts a time on the board for the only driver without a time on the board thus far, and it's looking relatively quick from the orange car coming through bus stop now. Needs to just get these final two corners right, and he does so on the run down to the line. It's not going to be too quick, but it's good enough for P6.
Yeah, not too bad that from Yusuf. He'll be decently happy with being mid-grid there. Pommy Alex drops to 7th from that lap. And I think Hartmann is in the pit, so I'm sure he'll come out again. Yeah, he's just come into the pit, so he's going to put on a fresh set of tyres, maybe. Although he did do that first lap on the medium, so he might just stay in the pits and hope his teammate doesn't beat him into P9. Femi Fussmaster is on a lap at the moment.
Yeah, he's about 2/10 up as I saw him come over the sector line in towards Lake Com. I think Lalo Maddo ran out of fuel toward the end of his lap there. It does start you out with a lot of fuel for this lap. Probably a little bit too much, I thought, or I always think. So I try and burn as much as I can on my outlap if I'm ever driving around. But it's 0.8 up for Femi Fussmaster. This is looking like a decent lap from the Williams. This could put him way up, possibly into the top 5 here. If he can find that time through Sector 3. Rain 30 minutes after race starts is Pommy Alex. So safety cars might mean that is a little bit closer if there are any. LB does blame me for his crash. And apparently his tyre barrier, so P6.
Brilliant from Femi for Fussmaster. It's his last race that he can do this season. He's going to have to miss the last couple of weeks, unfortunately. But that's a great showing in qualifying for the Cameroonian driver.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think we're going to be losing a fair few just because it's the summertime and we're almost at the very end of this year's game. It's a week today if you've got the Champions Edition until release, and it's a week on Friday if you have got the Standard Edition. I hope you have pre-ordered like I have, although mine's not turning up till the 2nd, so I'll have 1 day less of practice than everybody else on next year's game. But I think we're rounding off qualifying. The last few drivers are coming through to start their laps. My clock is
45
incorrect. How
seconds
long
to
is
go.
left? 45 seconds. So the last runs are starting now, and it's our man on pole at the moment who is out on a lap on the medium tyre. He will be one of the first across the line, but Krause is ahead of him, so he will come across the line first. I would imagine Lalo Maddo's cutting it fine now. I'm not sure he's going to make it out on that lap. Hartmann's not decided to come out, so it's no dice for Hartmann. He's going to be sat in P9 by the looks of things. I'm interested that Pommy Alex didn't come out. He must think that the medium tyre is the better one to start on, and LB might do the same. So this could be a straight fight between the Australian and LB in the Red Bull as they make their way up the grid. But it's JBS Steve, the man to watch at the moment. Can Krause, the other Red Bull, as he comes through Pouhon now, challenge for pole?
Well, what those guys on the mediums are thinking, I reckon, Sumo, is that they can get all the way to when the rain starts without pitting. So interesting to see if they can do that. I think JBS Steve and Crozer have just realised that, and that's why they've gone on the mediums to desperately try and beat their soft lap, but I can't see that happening.
Crozer's 5/10 down.
Yeah, Jamie F1 though, he's a man who's not down on his previous time. He was a 1/10.5 up through Sector 1, but that was very tentative through that right-left complex through Sector 2, and now he's a 10th down on his time. So he's going to need a mighty final sector in order to knock his teammate off pole position or get himself on the front row.
It's not good enough for Krauser. He's peeled into the pit lane. I'm not sure JBS Steve's going to have it in him. I think he's slowed back to give Jamie F1 that little bit of toe, perhaps, as he comes down toward the bus stop chicane. So there's no dice for one AlphaTauri. The other one goes very deep.
That's very good, though.
In that lap, and it's not quite an improvement from Jamie F1 as he comes over the line. Is that QB coming through the final corners? It is, but that's a pit lane entry for the Alpine. I think the only car left on track is Lalo, but he didn't make the line,
he didn't make it.
So that is qualifying.
Yeah, Jamie, just a mistake in Sector 2 through that little right-left, just far too tentative, and that is what's cost him a shot at the front row. But I'm sure he'll still be happy with P3, and you never know what can happen at Spa at Turn 1. But he will have Tier alongside him, who's been looking really racy the last few weeks. And Lalo Maddo, and then of course don't forget about the likes of Pommy Alex and Hartmann and possibly LB and TTV Max as well, starting on the mediums, because they'll be looking to do well, a one-stop all the way to the rain. It's going to be very, very difficult for them, but we'll have to see how it goes. But I'll let you run through the grid order, Sumo.
Well, JBS Steve then takes pole position. A good result for AlphaTauri as Jamie F1, his teammate, lines up in P3. Krauser sits in P2, the lead Red Bull car of the two on circuit. The Racy Tears sitting in P4 right now, with Lalo Maddo P5 and Femi Thrustmaster P6 to round off the third row of the grid. Yusuf sits in P7 with the Australian Pommy Alex P8. ISRL Hartmann and QB round off the top 10, with LB and TTV Max rounding off the back of the grid after setting no time in qualifying.
Yeah, the championship leader will be praying that he doesn't repeat what he's just done in qualifying over the next 45 minutes or so, because he needs to finish this race at a minimum in order to keep his huge lead in the championship with so few cars on the grid. I mean, I'm sure he won't be too happy with at least just finishing in last place, because it will still be 9 points on the board for him. So we'll see what he does.
Yeah, certainly. So 125 thousandths of a second between the top four in qualifying there. Very, very close stuff between our top four drivers, and it could have swung any way. But this is what AlphaTauri need if they're going to challenge Red Bull for the championship. As they've had a few bad races in the past, but if they can convert this qualifying result to perhaps a 1-2, then they might be able to start fighting back, especially if LB has as much luck uh, as he's had in qualifying. He says, Ghost, stop cursing. Can't help it, I'm afraid. It's just something that happens here at Tier 2. If you have joined us, we are just about to start the formation lap here. Make sure you have liked the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, as we're still on the run for 100 subscribers. We're sat at 84 still, so 16 more to go. Might have to start begging around other leagues to just get some more support, perhaps. But anyway, I digress. We'll also check out all of our APPF1 affiliates as well. We've got a great number of drivers who like to stream their races, so you can find some on-site, on-board perspectives, as well as perhaps some insights to team radios if they are indeed in a party and have voice chat on. Also, in talking about onboard perspectives, Ghost also does run a stream alongside this race, so please do go over to Ghost's channel and check that out, and drop a like on his stream for all of the onboard action of the cars as well. Also, don't forget about our sponsor, Positive Perception Media Design Products. We're very grateful to have them sponsor the Tier 2 races and the Tier 2 APPF1 season. And that's about all of my shout-outs there. So we go to Ghost for some pre-race sports.
Yeah, LB has started on the mediums as predicted. T3 Max has gone for the softs. So obviously not everyone thinks the mediums will go all the way to the rain. Or maybe they didn't see that there will be rain. But either way, it's certainly going to be fascinating to watch to see which strategy is the right one. Pommy, Alex and Hartman, of course, they're the ones to watch, and LB, if he can find some pace in this race, he'll be right back up there as well. We saw last week he had a terrible qualifying, and then in the race he was pretty much the fastest car on the track, so you never know what you can expect from the championship leader at the moment. I will be riding on board with him. Oh, we've got a couple of disqualifications. Hope there was nothing bad going on there, but yeah, I'll be riding on board with LB at the back to see what happens there, while you keep an eye on the front, Simon.
Yeah, certainly. The game says the strategy is either a soft medium, or a soft hard.
No way.
So it's definitely a one-stop race.
Yeah.
I reckon the mediums can make it to the end. It's debatable how far the softs go, depending on safety cars. I think the guys starting on mediums might be ones to watch, especially the likes of our three championship contenders who are all starting on that alternate strategy. But it's AlphaTauri who need to try and maximise their points this evening as we line up on the grid. Just waiting for that camera angle to shift as the game sorts itself out. We're going 5 red lights. And they're away for the Belgian Grand Prix in Tier 2. It's a good start from JBS. Steve Krauser looks to try and challenge. No dice for the Red Bull at the moment, but Jamie F1 looks to the inside. A bit of contact perhaps as Krauser's sent very wide off the circuit, and Jamie F1 has spun, which has sent him all the way down toward the back of the grid. Lalo Mado from P5 all the way up to P2 on that start. That's an incredible start for the Alfa Romeo as they come up through Al Rouge Radion for the first time and onto the Kemmel Straight now. It's Tier all over the back of Krauser at the moment. He looks toward the outside, but he's got no room at the moment. Krauser defends the inside line very well as they come through Lecom now. There's no moves toward the back. QB's very close to the back of Hartman for the moment, but Pommy, Alex, LB and Hartman have got away well, with LB making up 3 places already.
Yeah, it was a good start from LB. Yusuf trying to go down the inside of Femi into that right-hander, but no cigar for him. Well held by the Williams. But yeah, it was a decent start for LB. He was quite conservative on the braking zone into turn 1. Doesn't want to take any risks as the championship leader, and it's worked well for him with Jamie's spin. giving him another position. He's up into P8. Pomialek still in P7. He's going to be hoping to keep with the soft runners so that he can have DRS when LB catches up. There's more contact further ahead. Tyr is gone. Yusuf had a little bit of a moment, and Pomialek has taken full advantage. So there's now a car between the two championship rivals of Yusuf. But Tyr has gone all the way to the back and is going to give Jamie F1 someone to race, hopefully.
Yeah, Pomialek will be happy with that. That was a very opportunistic move. I didn't quite see it. I was having a drink at the time. But Pomialek will be happy to get a car in between himself and LB. LB is going to be trying to get past that McLaren as soon as possible. Fastest lap's coming in now as we complete the first lap of this Grand Prix. It's a shame for Tyr. He was looking very racy. He will have Jamie F1 to race, and doesn't look like he's got any damage. Neither does Jamie. They managed to keep it out of the barriers for now. There's a chance they could catch back up, especially if a safety car does come out, and if they've got the pace to get back on board with the rest of the pack. Lalo Mado is looking very racy in that Alfa Romeo, 4/10 back from our leader at the moment, JBS Steve, who's had a great start.
Yusuf
wasn't challenged very much. Yusuf on the inside of the Ferrari, side by side as they come into Les Combes. Yusuf trying to get back ahead of the Ferrari, and he does so. He had the inside line, which puts Pomialek back into danger zone from LB, who wants to get straight past him.
Yeah, a bit of contact there as they were going through. Pomialek's desperately trying to take the right line, but Yusuf has gone very deep, and Pomialek's got another opportunity. Bit of contact as Pomialek has to take avoiding action from the McLaren, and that allows the championship leader to get through. They're going to be side by side into Pouon as they go through. LB has to go wide, and all the way wide, and he's going to lose all those positions, and he's spun. He's in the wall.
Oh, he's in the wall.
Front wing is gone, but he is still in the race. Crucially, he's gone to the back, but he is still in this race as but without a front wing, so he's going to have to strap on some fresh tyres, and that strategy of waiting for the rain is well and truly over. TTV Max now taking advantage of a poor exit from Pomialek to go round the outside. We've seen issues here before with cars side by side. Hopefully not again. Pomialek backs out. He's saying, I'm not going side by side with TTV Max through there. And the Mercedes is up to P6.
Wow, through Blanchimont, a bit of side-by-side action. That's a shame for LB. The car is thankfully still going. So a safety car could see him back into this, but this could be a poor result for our championship leader, as an unplanned pit stop is for certain, which will see him drop way down on the rest of the field. I was reading something the other day, Ghost, where somebody was saying that Blanchimont is one of the hardest corners in Formula 1. And I heavily disagree with it, as Lalo Mado opens up the DRS toward the Kemmel Straight and is going to sail past that AlphaTauri. At the moment, they go side by side on the run to Les Combes, but it's not side by side now as Lalo Mado gets ahead before the braking zone and takes the lead of this race.
Pomialek and TTV Max side by side as well. TTV Max holds it round the inside. Brilliant stuff from the youngster. Still keeps P6, and Pomialek goes very deep and loses out to Hartmann as well. So he is down to P8, the Australian, and but he's still way ahead of LB, of course, on this third lap. But TTV Max will now be looking to get out of range of those medium runners, so he doesn't have to worry about them anymore, at least for a few laps until they get into the range of those soft tyres. But yeah, as you say, Lalo Mado, simple move into P1, and I believe that's the first time he has been leading an APPF1 race, so good to see, and he is racing very well at the moment.
Yeah, he clearly enjoys Belgium, and he's got a lot of race pace here at Spa-Francorchamps. LB and Pomialek and Hartmann are certainly racing one another. They're sort of the ones to keep an eye on still, and they're equal on points in the championship, so these two are going to be racing very hard. LB has interestingly gone onto the soft compound tyre. I'd have expected hards from the Red Bull, but he's trying something different. Yeah,
for sure. Maybe he's expecting a safety car, but yeah, I've been a bit harsh on Hartmann by saying Pomialek is the championship rival to LB, because he's level on points with the Australian, so a poor race for LB, and it'll be between those two, so this could still be quite a, what's the word, an aggressive, not really aggressive, but a meaningful fight as Yusuf spins through Radion, and down to P8 he goes. He doesn't look like he's got any damage somehow, but he's going to go all the way to the back in that McLaren.
Managed to do a Lando Norris and spin through Arouge and Radion without taking damage as Pommy Alex gets ahead of Hartmann through Lecom. I couldn't quite see the move, I just saw the end. But these two fighting as hard as I thought then as they come through the Brussels corner. Now Hartmann looks toward the inside, which becomes the outside for No Name. Pommy Alex closes the door on the Williams, but Hartmann is looking very racy as they come into sector
surely
two.
not.
Looks to the inside of Pouon. Oh, he backs out of that move quite sensibly. It's a very tricky corner to even just drive through, let alone have a side-by-side race through at the moment. These two really looking racy this evening.
That was clever from Hartmann. He was trying to scare Pommy Alex off the road, much like what Pommy Alex did to LB a few laps ago, and look how that turned out. So, yeah, it's... but Pommy Alex unfazed in that Ferrari. Here comes Hartmann though. He's going to have a go into bus stop, I think. They're going to be side by side through Blanchimont. It's not the first time Pommy Alex has done this, but he lets the American go. He says, I'm not interested in that, as there's more yellow flags. Yusuf again has gone off. He is not having the best day at all in that orange McLaren.
Pommy Alex just trying to find the better grip through the bus stop chicane. Doesn't quite get it. He will have DRS, and he will be a threat as they come up through Arouge and Radion. This is a great fight in the midfield at the moment. Not too much action going on further up ahead. Lalo Mado controlling the pace very well to keep JBS Steve just out of threat range. He's in the DRS, of course, but he's not close enough on a lot of these occasions. Coming up towards Lecom, again, not getting close enough. Pommy Alex, though, all over the back of the Williams, pulls to the inside immediately and gets the pass done before the braking zone. Hartmann looking to come back right at him, but doesn't have that speed that Pommy Alex has access to for the moment, and that's another swap in the midfield for P6.
I think they're going to keep swapping these two championship rivals. Of course, whoever finishes ahead of the other here is going to be ahead in the championship after this race. And if LB has another one of those, well, bins it again and doesn't get so lucky this time, this could end up being a championship fight between these two. So it's all on the line. And of course, on that alternate strategy, they need the rain to come sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's like the 90s all over again, isn't it? It goes Ferrari versus Williams. It's great to see as Hartmann has a little look at the outside as they come into Stavilo 1. Not quite close enough on this occasion as they come down towards this flat out sector 3 now. I think it's all flat out other than the final chicane there as Hartmann looks to go round the outside of Blanchimont again. Pommy Alex closes that one off. He's not going to be scared off the road this time by the American driver, who is looking again to the inside for bus stop, but no room for the American as Pommy Alex is defending very, very well. Back towards the front, JBS Steve has closed up a little closer and could be in threat range for a change for the lead here as they come up Arouge and Radion now. It's flat out through that corner. It's brilliant to drive, especially when you nail it just right. But JBS Steve then opens up the DRS, and we've got a horrible camera angle to watch it by. JBS Steve flies past and takes the lead of this race.
Yeah, easy move, and I think Hartmann's going to make one as well. He's using that overtake button, and down the inside he goes. Pommy Alex not bothering to defend that. He knows there's no point, but nearly goes into the back of the Williams there. Brilliant reactions from the Australian to not end up in disaster for the two of them. And Hartmann up into P6. That was so close.
Oh, this fighting has brought Tier into contention as well. Tier's got a time penalty. I believe it's a 3-second time penalty. It is indeed for track limits. He's on the softer tyre, which will start to be going off very soon. Lalo Mado keeping JBS Steve honest as they come through the campus chicane there. And Hartmann just looking to pull away a little bit there with Tier sniffing all over the back. Pommy Alex, has he got damage perhaps? Did he make full contact with the Williams? I'm not too sure. He might have olive damage because he's dropped back quite significantly, but these two look very equal on pace.
And he's gotten a time penalty as well. It didn't look like there was contact between them, but maybe there was. Maybe a bit of lag involved as LB gets past Yusuf into Pouon. I don't know how he managed that. But Tier looking to get past Lalo Mado.
He's into
pits. Okay, sorry. I thought it was an overtake into bus stop. But Tier still just behind the Ferrari. Are we going to see Pommy Alex peel in? No, we're not. So I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know there's damage. Maybe there is no damage, and he was just just struggling to keep it on track. As Yusuf retires, is that a safety car? It is! Safety car is out. The leader has gotten past it just about, but that is, well, I would say perfect timing for those who just pitted, but it doesn't really matter because the leader got past turn 1. So I think it's going to be all pretty similar when they do come in. Although Lalo Mado, I think Lalo Mado is still going to come out ahead because he will lose slightly less time because the safety car came out halfway while they were in the pit lane. But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
LB's in the pits, he's onto the mediums now, so he'll join toward the back, no doubt, but that was the safety car that he probably wanted to come out a few laps later than it has. But that's a shame for Yusuf, who has had a few good races in the past, but has unfortunately crashed here.
Sumo, look who's in the chat.
Yeah, I know, it's nice to hear from AP. I was waiting for a moment to say, but yeah, saying great racing, Hartman and Pommy, it really was, and it's nice to hear from you again, AP. It's been radio silence for a number of months. The founder of APPF1, of course. How's it been, pal? It's nice to see you in the chat.
I'm fascinated to see what the medium runners do here. Hartman and Pommy Alex, what are they going to do? Are they going to stay out and lead the race and still hope for that rain, or are they going to come in for fresh tyres? Really big decision for those two here. This could define their race, what they do right now. Lalo Mado, of course, in. All those soft runners are going to be in. But what are Hartman and Pommy going to do?
Well, if Pommy does have damage, this would be the best time for him to come in and repair it. Maybe a set of soft tyres until the rain. Hartman in, so Pommy has come in as well.
Oh, contact with the wall.
If that rain is coming, I'd put on a set of softs and hope that it comes before they wear off. This safety car is only going to bring the rain in sooner. However, it is going to count down the laps still, so it is damage for Pommy. He did have damage.
Yeah. Well, he hit the wall coming into the pit lane, so if he didn't have damage before, he definitely got it from that. He is out the pit lane now. He's going to lose a position. He's lost the position to Tier, but he's strapped on a set of the softs. Hartman has gone on the hard, so maybe he doesn't know rain is coming. Yeah, interesting strategy decisions there. As you say, LB onto the mediums. Jamie F1's just come out of the pits ahead of LB, crucially. So the two Alpha Tauris, one place ahead of each Red Bull at the moment. But Crows are racing well. Femi Frostmaster in P4 and TTV Max up to P5 as well. Some great races going on here. Well, individual races for now, but a long way to go.
Yeah, making up for his crash in qualifying is TTV Max and Femi having a good last race of his season 4 Tier 2 campaign. All good sumo life's been incredibly busy with moving back to the UK and starting a new job. Trying to keep in touch with the races that are streamed. Yeah, I'd imagine it is quite difficult. That entire change of living, I suppose, from living in one place to then in another place and getting a new job and everything. But hopefully we see you a bit more during F1 22. It'd be nice to have you back on circuit, AP, as you have been missed for sure. But we've looked after the league as best we can while you've been away.
TTV Max on the mediums. Look at those different tyres. Lalo Mado's on the softs. Femi Frostmaster, Pommy Alex both on the softs. So they think that rain is coming soon. Whereas everyone else on the mediums except for Hartman, that must have been an error to go on the hards. I can't think that he would have done that deliberately unless he just hasn't, unless he's not aware that the rain is coming. I think that's the only explanation really, other than Jeff screwing him over, which I think everyone has fallen victim to at some point.
Yeah, I mean that rain's even coming, or it's going to come toward the sort of on the last laps of the race. So Hartman could perhaps gain a few positions off of this if he is lucky enough. But it depends what that weather's doing. It's incredibly unpredictable. It can say it's going to rain toward the end, but it doesn't show up until after the race
Lalo
on the
in.
games. Lalo's in, so he's going to drop all the way back. Doesn't think those soft tyres are going to cut it, and he's going to put on a set of mediums, I'd imagine, to go to the end.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry, I was just reading AP's comments.
Put the Inters on.
Inters? It's not raining now, is it?
It's not. He thinks it's coming very, very soon. So, wow, that's one hell of a gamble from the Alfa Romeo. I don't think it's going to work. I can't see any rain, and even if it does come under the safety car at the moment, it's going to take sort of a couple of laps for it to be into conditions. So I think that's not an inspired decision from the Turkish driver, unfortunately.
Wishful thinking, I think. He thinks he might... If it starts raining when they get through Puon, then perhaps he might have got the right idea. But even then, he's going to take about a lap for the rain to fully set in. They haven't played a F1 game for nearly 4 months. Well, I mean, there's a new way... well, the best way of thinking about it is it's an entirely new car to drive for next year's game. So I think it's the best time to get back in. But hopefully all of the... I'm assuming by shipping you mean the rest of your stuff from Qatar. So that'll be decent if it arrives soon. Hopefully it's prompt soon. If that is a word, I think it's a word. Prompt. Prompt is probably a better word.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Prompt.
I can't even spell tier right at the moment, so... I think Jamie F1 accidentally overtook LB, and
I think it was the other way round.
seeing...
I think LB accidentally overtook Jamie, and now the game is very confused. Yeah, hopefully no penalties are going to get given there.
I'm still not seeing this rain. I'm just riding on board with JBS Steve. There's no rain at the minute. I mean, it has come over very overcast at the moment. But I think Lalo Mado may be kicking himself very soon, as I don't think that rain's coming just yet. But it may be a lot sooner than I think. So Tommy Alex could be in a good spot here. If he can make up some places, get ahead of Tier, get ahead of Hartmann and TTV Max, he could see himself in the right spot. But LB is still in this race, remember. He's sat in P9 right now, so could make up some ground on the restart. But the safety car is coming in then, as JBS Steve is the effective safety car.
Certainly is. Talking of good positions, Femi Thrustmaster is on the softs in P3. You never know, Sumo. He could be leading this race in a couple of laps' time. Don't want to jinx it, of course, on his last race of the season that he can manage. But still a long way to go. It looks like JBS Steve has tried to go early, but the safety car's not in the pits yet, so he can't go. So a little mistake there from the AlphaTauri. When is he going to punch it? Straight out of bus stop. So we are underway again. Green flag racing. Who's going to take advantage on this restart?
Hartmann very close to the back of TTV Max. He got a much better restart of this race and is all over that Mercedes. Could see an overtake toward the Kemmel Straight, but Tier is doing the same as well. Actually, I was looking at the wrong timings. It's Tier who's all over the back of the Williams rather than the Williams over the back of his teammate. But Tier loses it a little bit, gets damage, I think.
Yeah, he tapped the back of Hartmann into turn 1, so I think he's got damage on that car, which is a huge shame for the Mercedes.
Krauser and Femi very close to the back of JBS Steve, but no moves made for the front. Oh, Femi had a look around the outside of the last part of... I can never remember that corner. I've got it so many times.
Turn whatever.
Lake off, that's it. Every time my mind goes blank on that one. I get confused between La Source and Lake off. It's the problem. Tommy Alex getting a good restart. He's all over the back of Hartmann. After Tier has lost that, got that damage, so looking good on the Ferrari side of the pits for the moment. Femi Thrustmaster.
Oh, Hartmann's gone. Hartmann spins,
oh!
and he's right in front of Tommy Alex. He could do nothing about it, the Ferrari driver, and he's down to P8. I think he might have damage on that Ferrari. Oh, that's so unlucky for the Australian. LB is into 7th. He's properly benefited from that, but the hard tyres have really cost Hartmann. But Lalo Mado, it's still dry, mate.
Oh, Lalo. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He was in the lead of the race and came in for Inter's the wrong time. AP looking forward to playing F1 22. So am I. New cars, new way of driving should hopefully be a good interest. I was thinking about this a minute ago. As Femi Frostmaster is all over the back of Krauser at the moment. I don't know why it's showing me TTV Max. I'm watching Femi right now chasing the Red Bull up Al Rouge and Radion.
Another penalty.
At the moment, another penalty for a number of people. I didn't see who it was. It all flashed up so quickly. But side by side into Laycom then. The Femi Frostmaster gets himself up ahead of Krauser for the moment. Krauser's on the back of him already, but that's great racing between the two of them. But 6 seconds of penalties for Femi, which could affect him going forward into the race. We've reached the halfway point as well. We're exactly 11 laps into this race for the moment. And Pommy Alex has come in, another set of soft tyres for him. Those should go to the end if that rain doesn't show.
That was brilliant late braking from Femi Frostmaster.
I think it's raining, Ghost. The rain's here.
Hello. Okay, the rain is here. But how long is it going to be until it's into conditions? And how many cars are we going to see spin? Yeah, I can see the little raindrops now. So it's here. It's on its way. Femi Frostmaster trying to get himself into the lead of this race. What a way to sign off from Tier 2 for this season that would be for the Cameroonian. He's right on the back of JBS Steve, who was practically pushing him through the end of Sector 2 as the gap opens up a little bit through, is that Blanchimont, I think that's called, but down to Bus Stop, and he's right on the back of that AlphaTauri.
There he is. It's a long lap round here, so the rain could set in. DRS is now enabled. That will shortly be disabled, I'd imagine. But Femi Frostmaster in a strong place to take the lead of this race. At least on track, on paper, JBS Steve would still lead with that 6 seconds of penalties. If I was Pommy Alex, I'd think of coming in now.
Oh, JBS Steve gets himself another penalty, and Femi Frostmaster gonna make the move now. He's got the DRS. The Cameroonian is gonna lead an APPF1 race for the first ever time. He's into the lead. The Williams, simple before the corner, as long as he can get the braking zone done, and he does. Into the lead goes Femi Frostmaster. JBS Steve has to follow behind, but when is it into weather? JBS Steve really struggling to find grip on those mediums, but Crozer is absolutely fine. He has no penalties, and currently he's on paper leading this race.
Yeah, he certainly is. TTV Max has got penalties, so he's not going to really benefit at all from the drivers ahead. I was just having a look, but Mercedes sitting P4 and 5. That's very good from the pair of them. They're not in the Constructors' fight, but it will help their Constructors' Championship and perhaps progress them up the field for the moment. But Krauser has really got the measure on those mediums. It's just a matter of time until the track is wet enough. I wonder if anyone's going to take a risk. Lalo Matto's taken a big risk. Definitely not paid off. He was leading this race before the safety car period came out. If I was Pommy Alex, like I said, I would have come in probably about now, perhaps, if the others don't.
Yeah, I think so, but just such a shame for him. There was absolutely nothing he could do there. The two championship rivals coming to bear, and Hartmann with the spin, and Pommy Alex has had a spin now. He's just tried to push it too hard. He's going to be in the pits again. The Australian has had a nightmare today, as the top sort of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all separated by barely a car length, and yeah, this is going to be very close into turn 3. Wow, a huge slide from Jamie F1 out of turn 1. Just about keeps the car on the road as we come through Eau Rouge and Radion.
Getting a bit staticky there at the moment. Crowds are all over the back of JBS Steve. And it's going to be a move for second place of this race right now. They're going to go side by side all the way down toward Laycom. And I think that's going to be P2 for the Red Bull. It is. He comes out ahead and is now looking to chase off the Femi Frostmaster. But with the rain coming in, it's going to be a game of strategies at the moment. Pommy Alex surely coming into the pit lane. Yes, he does. Straight in. And that'll be a set of, I'd say, intermediates for the Ferrari, as the rain is about to be here properly, I think, very soon. Probably at the end of this lap, I'd have thought.
Yeah, you can see it on the camera now, so that's when you know it's starting to get serious. You know who will be excited to see those raindrops? This man right here, Tier 727 in the Mercedes. He loves a bit of rain. So he'll be hoping to get those inters on as soon as possible. JBS Steve, a huge mistake there, manages to keep the car on. T3 Max nearly follows him into the barrier there, but both of them keep it on track. But JBS Steve, another mistake, and here comes TTV Max side by side through Blanchimont. The youngster gets himself into the podium positions. JBS Steve really not liking these changeable conditions at the moment. He's losing so many positions. He's going to lose out to Tier as well. Here comes the Mercedes round the outside of the AlphaTauri. JBS Steve brakes very early to make sure he gets to the corner and stays down in P5. So he's gone from first to fifth in just a few laps here as Tier gets past his teammate as well. He's a master of the rain. He's really showing it now. The two Mercedes side by side through turn one. What's going to happen here? It's a bit of overtake used from Tier to get past his teammate Max with a snap of oversteer, and the job is done.
Tier is looking very racy in his changeable conditions as he goes for a spin up running and it's a crash. That's going to be a safety car.
JBS Steve has gone as well at the same place. They're both out. It's a safety car. It's brilliant news for Pommy Alex. But, oh, just as we were singing his praises, what have we done, Sumo?
Commentator's curse strikes for the second time this evening. As I was thinking as they were coming into bus stop, are any of them going to come in? And I was shocked to see that none of them did. It's so close to that intermediate time that I'd take that risk now. I know that it's normal to wait for it to say DRS disabled, but I think we've got to try and preempt these things and get that one step ahead. Pommy's going to be happy with this, I think, as Lalo Mado has come in for a set of medium tyres.
Okay. Okay. I have no words.
It's very interesting. It'll be a...
That is certainly one of the strategies that has been done of all time.
Maybe this is only a short period of rain. Who knows? But I'm expecting him to be right back into the pits again. But Pommy Alex won't make up any places. He's so far back, but he will catch back up fairly quickly. And JBS Steve out. That's going to be a big hit for AlphaTauri, who really needed a good result.
Yeah, they really did. That's a massive blow for the Constructors' Championship. As the leader comes into the pits, just about misses the wall there. It's really treacherous out there in these changeable conditions. But Crozer is looking on track to win this race. He's got no penalties. He's looking very racy. He's always been good in the wet, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, Crozer in a really good spot here for Red Bull. And that's just what AlphaTauri did not want to see. One of their drivers in the barrier and out the race.
Yeah, Femi's going to come out in the lead, but those penalties are going to hamper his performance. Well, not performance, but his overall finishing.
No.
Disqualified, blocking the pit lane for QB. That's a shame. He must have spun in the pits or something or other and has been disqualified from the session. You hate to see that.
You do.
That's nothing you can do about that, I'm afraid. And QB's out of this session. I think that's one of the first times he's finished the race, but not finished the race, but no fault of his own.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he just missed his braking point to the pit lane maybe, and just had to reverse to try and get it in there, and then the game decided, actually, you've been there for too long, and we will black flag you now, which is very harsh. I've been on the wrong side of a Codemasters disqualification plenty of times, so I know how it feels. It's not what you want to see for our resident Mr. Consistent. Lalo's now put on the soft tyres.
Oh, Lalo, what are you doing, pal?
Oh dear. But actually the side note of that's actually quite significant, because Pommy Alex, unless Lalo has a spin, which I mean I wouldn't be surprised to see, but Pommy Alex is now going to be stuck behind him for the whole of the track. And I wouldn't be surprised if he was slower than the safety car in those softs. So this could really hamper Pommy Alex's race if he can't catch back up to the safety car in time. This really could be tricky for the Australian.
Yeah, it certainly could. It might just wait for him. QB says he spun it and he could not find reverse. That is a
Oh.
shame. Or he could not reverse even. The pit lane is sort of barriered off, so reversing is very difficult. And Rick says we're not allowed to name any more names during the rest of this stream. And yeah, Lalo Maddo going very conservative to come through. I wouldn't be, if I was Pommy really, I wouldn't be too annoyed. I'd just be wondering what the hell he was doing in that Alfa Romeo. It is now raining. The man who puts on intermediate tyres when it's dry and dry tyres when it's clearly wet. It's certainly an interesting strategy call.
I don't know how he's keeping that car on the track.
I don't know, maybe the game says it's not raining for him.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Maybe it's opposite day.
Perhaps.
But yeah, he's surely in the pits again. But the safety car is going to stay out for at least another lap. But it could stay out for another couple of laps if Lalo Maddo doesn't come into the pits here for another set of intermediates. But yeah, Pommy Alex, he's got to catch up soon, and look at that, well wide for Lalo, and he has to stay out because he was too wide through bus stop. Now Pommy Alex still can't overtake. I don't know what's going on here with Lalo Maddo. He is just something's gone very wrong in that cockpit. Yeah, Pommy Alex now, if he wasn't annoyed before, he's going to start getting a little annoyed.
Maybe it's a prank from the engineers in the Alfa Romeo garage, perhaps, to send him out on a dry tyre or something or other. I'm not too sure, really. It's certainly interesting, but they should catch up, I'd imagine, because they're coming down a Kemmel Straight now. So, I mean, there might be very little grip, but he will be able to keep it at a straight line down here for sure.
I mean, it looks for all the world like he's on Inters, based on the way he's driving. He's not that slow. I wonder if it's a visual bug.
Maybe.
He's actually on Inters.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's very, very weird. I mean, we can't have a tier 2 race without something like this happening. Evening Bumblebee in my chat, tier 2 season 2 champion. Unfortunately couldn't be here for this season. Hopefully we'll see you around on the new game, mate. It would be good to see you again. But yeah, lap 16 of 22, and I think we should see that safety car coming in this lap.
Yeah, Femi Fussmaster, then I think this is his first Grand Prix at APPF1 he's ever led here in Tier 2. So the Williams having a good run for it, but it's looking like it might swing the way of Red Bull and Krauser at the moment with those time penalties. Safety car is in, so the lights have gone out on that red Mercedes, and it will now speed up in toward the pit lane, leaving Femi Fussmaster to control the pace of the rest of the field as they come through Sector 3.
Absolutely. When is the Williams going to punch it? He's in an unfamiliar position here. Hadn't led a race in APPF1 before, as you say, especially not on a safety car restart. So he's got to consider his options here. What is he going to do? He's got the rampaging Crozer, who's looking fantastic today, right behind him. TTV Max as well is always an aggressive driver. Will take the opportunities when he sees them. Is the Williams going to punch it out of bus stop? Looks like he's gone, but he hasn't caught Crozer out. The Red Bull's still right behind him, and into turn 1. I wonder if a move is going to be made. Lalo Maddo and Pommy Alex going side by side as Pommy Alex gets through. There's a bit of argy-bargy through turn 1, but Crozer has gotten through. Are they going to be side by side through Radion? Surely not. No, Femi Fussmaster loses out there, and Crozer takes the lead.
Oh, it's very always very nerve-wracking going through Arouge and Radion as Femi Fussmaster proves he's had to cut the circuit a little bit, not getting a penalty that time, I'd have thought, but Krauser into the lead then of this race.
Pommy Alex and Hartmann.
Oh, these two going at it again for this. I don't know how many times down this race, but Pommy Alex up ahead. Pommy Alex isn't too bad in the rain. I've been stuck behind him for a long amount of time in a race before. He's very hard to get past in wet conditions, and he may find himself challenging LB perhaps, but LB doing well to keep it on circuit, especially since this is a track he's never finished a race at here.
Absolutely, he's doing really well at the moment, P5, and he's ahead of both his championship rivals, which is not what he would have thought was going to happen after he binned it on lap 2 or 3. So he has had a mighty recovery, helped out by a couple of safety cars, of course, but he'll be happy to be where he is at the moment. But he's not challenging for the victory today, it seems. Crozer, his teammate, is just about bordering on that 1 second margin from Femi Thrustmaster. There won't be any DRS, of course, but it's still good to have that margin for security. But TTV Max is going to make a move on Femi Thrustmaster into bus stop perhaps, but he gets another time penalty, so they are racing for position here. TTV Max has to brake a little early to not make contact with the Williams, and through bus stop they go.
Well, there's commentator's curse, and it seems that now is the viewer's curse. As TTV Max, AP said TTV Max is on for a podium, and he gets that penalty. So that podium is slipping away from the young driver in that Mercedes. There's no way Lalo Mado was on intermediates.
No. Here's another battle we've seen plenty of times this season. LB against Jamie. But LB loses out through Radion there, and now Jamie is on the attack of TTV Max. Down the inside goes the AlphaTauri. He is going to go into the podium positions on track unless TTV Max can do something. Round the outside he goes, and there's a little bit of contact. Jamie just on the curb a little bit, so has to back out. I think that was decent defending from TTV Max, nothing malicious going on there. But LB couldn't quite take advantage of that little squirm from the AlphaTauri up ahead.
And look who's closed up. Pommy Alex sat within 7/10 of LB, as LB has a little bit of a mistake, gets it all out of shape on the exit of No Name there, and is struggling for grip in these wet conditions.
Pommy Alex nearly going into the wall through Puon, just about manages to save it, and as I say that, Jamie F1 gets a 3-second time penalty, so LB, as it stands, it's going to be a Red Bull 1-2. Would you believe it? After LB was in the wall, nearly out of the race, about 25 minutes ago, he's now on for P2 in this race.
It pays to stay as committed as you can. It pays to not give up even when your luck seems to be down, as you never know what can happen. This rain has certainly changed things up, especially if you are LB in that Red Bull right now. He's just got to survive another 3 laps, 19, 20, 21, 22, 4 laps, sorry, in this conditions. He's looking very sort of tentative, especially for a few corners. I've seen him make a few little mistakes here and there, but if he can keep Pommy Alex and Hartman behind, or if he can keep from losing any points, which he's not going to lose too much if he does finish behind them, then he'll have a decent race.
He's going to make a move on Jamie F1. He goes through Radion pretty well, but Jamie F1's got TTV Max to worry about. Round the outside he goes. They're going to be side by side into Lecom, I think this is called. Again, here they go. Jamie F1 round the outside of the Mercedes. A bit of wheel banging again between the two. Brilliant racing, still side by side. TTV Max, a bit of contact. Across the corner he goes, but they're still side by side somehow. And TTV Max going to use the braking zone into the next corner to take the place back. He's back into P3. Jamie F1 trying to get through it. Here comes LB round the outside and down the inside again. He forces Jamie off the track, but not much could be done on either side there. And LB into P4, but side by side through Puon, surely not, no. And Jamie goes for a spin. Oh, he's hit the curb and he is gone down to P7, and that is where he will stay for the rest of this race, I think. LB, one of his rivals, is down, and now he just has to stay where he is, but I'm sure Pommy Alex is not going to let that happen if he can help it.
Yeah, Pommy is going to try everything he can to get ahead of LB. LB is done very well, and AlphaTauri who started in P1 and P3, this is probably the worst their race could have gone for them.
It certainly is. This could not have possibly gone worse. They've been so unlucky today, but that is what counts. LB still on the track with no penalties. In the end of the day, Pommy Alex nearly going to the back of him there, but yeah, at the end of the day, first you have to finish.
Yeah, that's true indeed. Perhaps TTV Max has been playing some dirt rally in his off time, so I don't know how he kept that car going once he lost it and went over the corner there. But incredible to catch the car. Maybe he had some tips from Carlos Sainz recently, but LB all over the back of TTV Max at the moment. TTV Max is defending incredibly well at the moment to keep these faster cars from behind. It's going to come to nothing when all is said and done after penalties have had their say.
Oh, here comes LB. There's some history here around the outside. There's a bit of wheel banging again. TTV Max forced wide, but he's going to have another go in the next corner. No, he hasn't. He's spun. He's in the wall. Oh, no. TTV Max, with 3 laps to go, has bottled it. Down to P6 he goes. And, oh, you hate to see it. The youngster will be absolutely gutted. He was driving so well today.
Well, I think Hartmann could be in for a podium here this evening, as he's 9 seconds for Femi Fussmaster now, 3 for Pommy Alex, so it could be Red Bull 1-2 with Hartmann sat on that 3rd step of the podium at the moment. Unless anything else happens, the chaos has fully started with this wet race period, and the gaps are looking a little bit out, but Jamie F1 gets past TTV Max, who's gone for another spin at the Campos chicane.
Oh, it's such a shame for the youngster. It's just the pressure's gotten to him there. He was perhaps on for a podium if something happened with the penalties, but it wasn't to be. But here comes Pommy Alex down the inside. He sent it on LB into bus stop. And they go through the 2 championship rivals, of course. LB keeps the position though, and Pommy Alex has to correct a snap of oversteer, and he's got to be careful of Hartmann as well, because that 3-second penalty really going to cost the Australian here as they go through turn 1 now. 2 laps to go. Crozer is looking imperious at the front. No one is catching the Red Bull, but it's all about this battle for what will be P2 when they cross the line.
Tier lamenting in the chat there. He was hoping that it would rain in Spa. He loves the rain, does Tier. I was going to say, actually, when you mentioned how much Tier does love the rain, I was going to say that I believe the last time we had a wet race in Tier 2, he bottled it there as well.
Yeah, he did.
So,
that was China.
China, yeah. So it's not...
Oh, it's another time penalty for Pommy Alex.
Pommy.
Oh... So he's going to be hoping to just try and send it on LB somewhere, try and force the Red Bull into a mistake, but at the moment the championship leader is looking like he is going to, against all the odds today, extend his championship lead.
Yeah, it certainly does, and I think with the poor result from Alpha Hartmann, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, the race is on now. I don't know. I think it's DRS enabled. I think it's stopped raining, Ghost.
Oh my god, it has as well. You're right. It has stopped raining, but it's too late for anyone to pit. So, wow, what's going to happen here? Lap 21 of 22. Is someone going to risk it, I wonder? I mean, Pommy Alex, I would have thought, maybe. He's nothing to lose here. Well, I mean, he's got plenty to lose. That's definitely wrong. But, I mean... Who is anyone going to come in the pits here for dry tyres and try and risk it?
I don't think it's worth it. No, they're not going to come in there. Pommy Alex, this is the 2nd time he's gone very deep through Blomsham on there, trying to go full throttle. You can do that through there in these conditions, although it is very scary.
I think, well, the gap between Pommy and Hartmann is at the moment around about 3 seconds. So Pommy could hold on to that P4, but at the moment, P3 it would be on the podium, but Femi Thrustmaster, he's so close to getting on the podium here. Look at this, because of the penalties further back. If he can, I mean, I can't work out the maths as we're talking on the track, but he's not out of this race in terms of getting a podium. Crozer is looking fantastic at the front. I think he's just been slowing down this lap. He doesn't want to take any risks on the final lap because Femi has really caught up to the Red Bull. But it would be Kroza's first win of the season, and would it be his first ever Tier 2 win, Sumo? I can't actually remember.
I'm not sure. No, I think he won a race last season, or at least a couple last season. I think it might have been Austria or something like that he might have won.
He didn't win anything last season.
Did he not?
No, no wins.
I could have sworn Krauser's won a race before, but
it could have been season 2.
We'll have to look back in the archives, I think. But
yeah.
Krauser is definitely set for a win this evening, and I think because Krauser slowed down, this penalty situation is going to play into the hands of Hartmann. Although I don't think he'll get ahead of Pommy, perhaps, as he's dropped way back from the Australian. It seems struggling in these wet to dry conditions. As Pommy Alex has gone, not Pommy, TTV Max has gone for another spin. Sorry, but it's looking like a Red Bull 1-2. Maximum points for Red Bull. I'm not sure who the fastest lap has gone to. That's LB, so maximum points. But Krauser finishes this race. He's
LB on the last corner. He didn't make it across the line. Oh my gosh. Look where his car is. He's right on the finish line. He's going to be P7.
What?
What has just happened, Sumo? He's right on the line.
Oh my word!
It's high drama in Tier 2. He's still going to be classified. He will still score 14 points. But Pommy Alex gets P2. Femi Thrustmaster gets on the podium there, with just about beating ISR Al Hartmann to the podium. Great final race for the Cameroonian. But what drama there.
I thought Krauser in celebration had crashed, and then you say it's LB, and I see him DNF, and I'm like, what has happened? What happened there? Oh my word! But he will also get the fastest lap as well, I believe. He completed, what, 99% of the race?
99.99. Oh my god! I've got to do APPF1 awards just so I can put that in.
Oh my word! Oh wow! Krauser then takes the top step of the podium. A great race from the Red Bull driver. Started P2 and challenged all the way to the end. Pommy Alex gets driver of the day from the game and finds himself on the podium as a result, with Femi Thrustmaster lining up as they celebrate spraying that champagne around. And wow, what a hectic end to what turned into quite a hectic race with changeable conditions there. Whew.
I can't believe that. He will still get fastest lap because he was classified, but
wow.
Well, that is. I mean, I've never seen anything like that in a league race. I'll let you run through the standings, Sumo. I'm done. Wow. I'm speechless.
Well, Kroza then takes his first win of this season then, after a great race, starting P2 and finishing in on the top step. Pommy Alex gets the game's driver of the day, and with Femi Thrustmaster makes up the podium. Hartmann and Jamie F1 make up the top 5, with TTV Max the last of the finishers in P6. LB, Lalo Mado, JBS Steve, Tier, Yusuf and QB all did not finish this race through various means. But yes, drama. I'm very intrigued to know what happened, LB. If you are currently watching, please do pop it in the live chat. But that is some APPF1 Tier 2 history for you right there.
It certainly is. That's on par with Kroza at Monza.
It's always Red Bull.
It's always Red Bull. It's one of them too. Oh my gosh. I mean, let's not distract from the fact. I don't know if that's. I think that's Kroza's first win in Tier 2. I'll have to check back in the archives, as you say, but I believe that is. So fantastic job to him. Really well driven. No Absolutely no binning it or no mistakes from him. It's just imperious throughout. So great drive from Crozer. And Pommy Alex gets himself P2, which I don't think he would have expected with a couple of laps to go there. And Femi Thrustmaster, on his last race of the season that he can do, gets himself his first podium in Tier 2. I am delighted for him. But, I mean, what a race.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone's got the master of predictions this evening, it's Hartmann. He did say that there would be a Williams on the podium. He was hoping it'd be himself, but Femi Thrustmaster found himself sat in P3, so an incredible job. And I think, in terms of commentator's driver of the day, I think I've got to give it to Femi.
I mean, it's between Crozer and Femi for me.
It's two firsts, I guess.
Yeah, it's so difficult to decide, really, between the two of them.
Well, we make the driver of the day rules here, so why not split it? Just this once.
We'll split it between Crozer and Femi, and I think I'll just not display it on the race results graphic. Just as because I can't do two names, unfortunately. The program doesn't let me. But
oh dear, but that's for the record then.
Yeah.
Thank you, AP. We try and do our best over here. I'm glad you enjoyed the commentary, but that has been round 6, and I think even with LB's DNF, I think the championship's going to be an uphill battle for his rivals, Pommy and Hartmann. They will close up a few points, but it's going to be rather inconsequential, perhaps, with only 2 rounds left to go. And I think Red Bull have got themselves the Constructors' Championship. I'm not sure anyone's going to be close enough unless Ferrari or Alpha Tauri can do anything within the final couple of races. But that's, would have been maximum points for Red Bull, but chaos and the racing gods decided no. You will not finish a Belgium race at Spa here at APPF1.
I'd just like to add before we go, did you see the margin of Femi getting the podium from his teammate in the end?
What was that?
600ths of a second.
Wow.
So that's the difference. But yeah, Pommy Alex will gain 4 points in the championship on LB. After that, so the gap will be 15 points between them with 2 races to go. It's still going to need another couple of mistakes from LB in these last few races, but the next race is Baku, so who knows?
Yeah, certainly. So the streets of Baku then next week, but that will be us for. I don't know why I'm losing my ability to speak. It's just craziness at the minute, but that is going to do it for the APPF1 Tier 2 stream this evening. That has been round 6 of the championship, and what an incredible round it has been. The championship still settles on a knife edge, but it is looking like it might go the way of Red Bull and LB at the moment. Please do make sure you go check out our sponsor, Positive Perception Media Design Products. We really appreciate having them as the Tier 2 sponsor, and thank you for their support, and please do go check them out on their socials and on their YouTube channel. Make sure you go check out all of our APPF1 affiliates, and if you haven't done so already, leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. But that has been APPF1 Tier 2 for this evening, and I have been Sumo.
I have been Ghost.
And we will see you next week for Baku, and to answer your question, Lifebout, I will be there for Tier 1 once again. So, see you very, very soon. Goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.